The skin of the eyes is very different. We hardly have any oil glands around our eyes. And we also have, I think it's 400 times thinner, the skin around the eyes than it is on the face. So it needs something different. It needs something special. And we also want that beautiful vitality that you're going to get from using a skincare that's not just surface level, but actually has those frequencies to increase cellular communication.
Welcome to the Myers Detox Podcast. I'm Dr. Wendy Myers, and on this show, we talk about everything related to heavy metal and chemical toxicity, the health issues caused by those toxins, and more advanced topics than you'll hear on other shows. We talk about anti-aging and bioenergetics, and today we're going to talk about anti-aging skincare, specifically frequency-enhanced skincare that I use called Tru Energy Skincare. I love this stuff. I've been using it for about 18 months. I love the results, and I want to talk to the owner, Cathy Goldstein, to tell you a little bit more about it. So specifically, we're going to talk about the secret to younger looking eyes over 45 and how to erase eye bags, dark circles, halos, and wrinkles. And today we talk about all kinds of things like what is frequency enhanced skincare, what kind of frequencies are being used, how frequencies can help improve the collagen and elastin in your skin. And we talk about a frequency enhanced eye mask that improves the quality of your skin, that delicate skin around your eyes, and why lymphatic drainage is really important if you've got puffy upper or lower eyelids, and how to improve that lymphatic flow. And also just lots of different things related to aging skin and how to care for it properly. So our guest today is Cathy Goldstein. She's an acupuncturist and she's a pioneering expert in quantum energy medicine, facial expression science, and bioadaptive skincare. With nearly 4 decades of experience in integrated medicine, she's redefined beauty and wellness by integrating functional aesthetics, bioenergetic skincare, and neuroaesthetics, proving that true rejuvenation starts at the cellular level. As the founder of Tru Energy, the first of its kind bioadaptive skincare system, Cathy has developed energy-infused formulations and frequency-activated tools designed to optimize cellular communication, fascia and lymphatic health, and emotional expression therapy. Her work challenges conventional beauty practices like Botox and fillers, revealing how facial expression and energy flow impact brain function, neuroplasticity, and aging. You can learn more about her work at truenergyskincare.com. Cathy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Looking forward to talking everything eye.
Yes. So we are going to be talking about the secret to younger looking eyes over 45 and how to erase eye bags, dark circles, the halos under your eyes, and wrinkles. But why don't you just tell us a little about yourself and your Tru Energy skincare line and why you created this amazing line? I love it, and I personally use it because it has frequencies imprinted on it that's going to dramatically improve the performance of it above and beyond anything that you can use, just some regular old moisturizing cream anywhere in any department store or drugstore. But why don't you just tell us your story?
Sure. I actually was studying pre-med when I got really sick at age 26. And that was one of my couple of hugely defining moments in the direction that my life took and how I just am putting myself out, right? When I got really sick, I realized that Western medicine doesn't have a healing system. So they have a respiratory system, a digestive system, but they don't have a healing system. So I really went into the acupuncture based on that because it's about energy, frequencies, healing systems, and cell to cell communication, which is like throughout the whole body. So it really made sense to me to go that acupuncture route, look at the body as a whole. But then when I hit 49, all of those, traumas, illnesses, and things like that seemed to have caught me by surprise when I inadvertently looked in the mirror and went, oh my gosh, why is this not matching how I feel? Because I was doing all the right things. I was being organic, eating well, exercising, practicing what I preach, doing meditation. And yet, when I had like inadvertently caught myself, it gave me that raw look at how everything was still showing up on my face. And so it really led me down that path of going back to my clinic where I was treating a lot of really sick people with autoimmune disorders and pathogens and things like that. and really looking at this large organ system, which is the skin. Most people think of it as just like a surface protection, but it's an entire system that integrates into the body. So it made me segue out in a clinical way. What does this system do? And what's involved in, if it doesn't look good, what does it actually mean? And so, really, what was showing up for me there was lymphatic drainage, fascia, the health of the fascia system, which is a collagen producing machine. So if it's snagged up, we're not getting that collagen production, and the lymphatic system, if it's congested, isn't delivering the nutrients to the skin. So those were two huge components. The other is the muscles of the face are so different than the muscles of the body. So it was really looking at the muscles of the face as, how and where we show our expressions. And our eyes show so much. They're like when they say windows to the soul as a concept, there's truth in that, right? It's truth that the eyes will show up way before you do. That's why you can walk into a friend when you've maybe not eaten well the night before, or maybe had a rough night or didn't sleep well. You don't have to say a word. Your friend's going to say, you look like you don't feel that good, or you look tired, or did you have a few drinks last night?
Or you look
So,
sick, which is always so welcome.
yeah,
Are you
yeah, thank
sick?
you.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So it's such a valuable area to really pay attention to. And with my skincare line, like you said, I use frequencies in everything, but how I treat the eyes is very different because the skin of the eyes is very different. We hardly have any oil glands around our eyes. And we also have, I think it's 400 times thinner, the skin around the eyes, than it is on the face. So it needs something different. It needs something special. And we also want that beautiful vitality that you're going to get from using a skincare that's not just surface level, but actually has those frequencies to increase cellular communication. And we can dive into that at some point too, because that's the fun part on how our body works.
So now a word from one of our Myers Detox podcast sponsors. Hey, I'm Dr. Wendy Myers, and one of the things that I'm obsessed with doing is my nightly skincare routine. It's something I've done since I was a teen. And one of the things that I added a few months ago was a bond charge red light face mask. So doing red light therapy in the evenings. And this is something that has totally transformed my skin, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. And right now is a great time to get your own mask because Bond Charge is having a holiday sale. You can get 25% off by going to bondcharge.com, and the 25% off will just be taken off the cart. The Bond Charge Red Light Face Mask uses the power of red light therapy to help to rejuvenate skin so the skin looks younger, firmer, and more radiant. It helps reduce the appearance of aging and fine lines and wrinkles, and all from the comfort of your home. No appointments necessary. You don't have to go anywhere. It's really quick and easy to use. You only need to do it about 10 to 20 minutes a day to see results. And it's cordless, so you can do it, while you're walking around and watching TV or reading or whatever. And so what I do about 5 days a week, I don't use it every single day, but about 5 days a week, I will just put it on when I'm laying in bed. I have like a little nighttime routine that I do. So it doesn't take any time out of my day. I'm laying on my PEMF mat before I go to bed, and I put the red light mask on. And it's got little holes in it so you can see through it and be on your phone or reading or what have you. And so that's one of the ways that I wind down at night and take care of my skin. Plus, all of Bond Charge's products are FSA, HSA eligible. That can give you tax-free savings up to 40% off. I know that you'll love the Bond Charge Red Light Face Mask as much as I do. So go to bondcharge.com. So there's a really good deal for the holiday season, giving 25% off. That's the biggest discount that they have all year. So if you've been curious about red light therapy and what it can do for your skin, highly recommend you try it and make it part of your nighttime skincare routine. So this sale ends on December 31st. So, sign up to get yours or get one as a gift for a family member or a friend. Again, bondcharge.com. Yeah. And so let's talk about the frequencies that you imprint on the skincare, because I think that's really what sets your skincare line apart from the others and why I use it. Because I'm like, as long as I have a choice, why not use skincare that has frequencies imprinted on it that dramatically enhance the appearance of your skin? And so why don't you tell us what those are?
Okay. first, just to give your audience really understands the concept of frequencies because you talk about it a lot. You use it in your own products. And I think that there's a really kind of basic fundamental thing here that really drives this concept home, which is that one, everything has a frequency. And two, it's how the frequency is tuned, like a tune up, like how it's tuned, right? So you can have dull frequencies and high vibe frequencies. And we talk about high vibe frequencies when someone's like really energetic and things like that. And it's a real thing, right? It's like tuning into a radio station, right? If you try to tune like old style where it had a dial, right? You tune into the radio station, and if it's not getting quite the good reception, like if it's a little dull or going in and out, it's not very long before you give up on it and look for something, that you can get a better sound from. So that's very much what happens when we have that low vibe cell that's not really tuned up to where it needs to be on that frequency, on that high frequency level. And people tune out to us. So that's that personal part of what happens when we aren't addressing our body as a frequency, as a tuning fork, as a light energy, is that it's how we tune in and out with people. So the frequencies that I use in the skincare are very specific to, if you will, it mimics the cellular vitality of a perfectly functioning cell, like of that template of a perfectly functioning cell. So it has, for example, the acupuncture meridians that are fine-tuned because we have a lot of acupuncture meridians on our face. So when you're using the product, you're actually touching, and when you're using the tools, you're touching those acupuncture meridians. And then also like increasing collagen production. The clinical trials that we had actually showed an increase in production of collagen by 25%, which is almost impossible to get from just a skincare alone. It's the frequencies that really made that make or break in increasing that vibration, increasing cellular communication, moving the lymphatic systems, and enabling that collagen production to go where where science says it can't go, but it did. So that's the gist of it.
Yes, yeah, and I love that. And I love that you can have a frequency in skincare that's actually improving your collagen and elastin production because that's what everyone's after. The collagen is what gives your skin that bounce and that plump look, and the elastin's helping the skin to go back after it's stretched out. It'll go back, or
Yes.
it has that elasticity in it. It's called elastin. And so I think it's just genius to infuse frequencies that help to build more collagen. And it makes so much more sense because when you put collagen on your skin, that doesn't really work. There's a lot of garbage marketing out there of women spending hundreds of dollars on creams that are it's just marketing. You can't put collagen into a product and expect any miracles. And any product out there it's going to moisturize your skin. That's great. We want moisture and we need to do that on a daily basis. But there's actives in skincare. There might be vitamin C or some alpha hydroxy acid or whatever the case may be. But what really people are after is that improved collagen and elastin. And that's really what for me is so important in the skincare is to be able to be constantly communicating my skin to be improving that.
Yes. And right. And so that cell to cell communication is important. And, how I do the imprinting is I have a little green bead in every product, and that green bead is imprinted with those frequencies so that when they're in every single jar has either a green or a blue bead, and then also imprinting the tools as well, because it helps that communication. And I think you really bring up a good point on ingredients because like you said, collagen it's such a large molecule, generally speaking, that if you put it on the surface of your skin, it doesn't go where the cell needs it. And not only that, but our body doesn't take collagen and utilize it effectively in a way that actually changes the health of the cell. Like I want to affect the DNA. I want to affect the ATP, that energy channel, right? So what the difference is, those active ingredients that you talked about, to me, what was important is that I was using ingredients that have, three different factors. One is a delivery system so that they're actually capsuled in an oleosome technology. So when that cream or treatment goes on your skin, and especially if you're using it with a tool, you're getting product penetration so that when that oleosome or that seed, if you will, opens up, those nutrients go right to the cell where they can make a difference and actually increase production or increase the health of the cell. The second is the actual ingredient itself. The ingredient really needs to be what I call functional skincare, meaning that we're not feeding it the outcome, we're feeding it what it needs to produce an outcome. So that's the giving it the ingredient that activates collagen production, not just giving it collagen, because that's the whole theme right there is if you want a healthy cell from the inside out, you need to give it the nutrients to produce a beautiful cell on the surface of the skin. And then the third is being able to have that activation from the frequencies and the tools as well that really amplifies that whole process.
Are you taking collagen supplements? Well, check this out. So our friends at Organifi have sourced the best collagen on the planet, and you can get it with 20% off savings today too. So what is collagen? So it's the most abundant protein in our body. It's everywhere. It's in your muscles, your joints, your hair, your skin, your fingernails, everywhere. And it's one of the fundamental building blocks of life. And your body uses collagen constantly to keep itself refreshed and repaired. But as you get older, especially as women that are going into menopause, you can lose 30% of your collagen within the first 5 years of menopause. And that starts in perimenopause as well. So your body just stops making as much of it and you start losing it, especially as your estrogen levels come down. And so that's why consuming collagen is such a great idea every single day. So it gives your body a fresh supply to keep working at its best. And it's not only good for your hair, skin, and nails, it helps to support your gut and metabolic health, your immune system, your cardiovascular strength, and all of your muscles and moving parts too. And collagen's nothing new. It's one of the oldest supplements out there. And collagen supplements have been around for quite a while now. But what makes Organifi so special is it's all about the quality. So the non-organic collagens scare me. They're really, really problematic because they can be full of glyphosate and pesticides and other chemicals that you do not want to be taking on a daily basis. Because not all collagens are the same. So it can come from many different sources. And the source can drastically impact its potency and effectiveness as well. And some manufacturers just go with the cheapest stuff that they can find and then add fillers and artificial flavors, and they still charge you a lot of money for that. So Organifi always goes the extra mile to ensure their quality is the best. So they blend 5 collagen types from 4 different sources, and they taste and test until it's perfect. And then they go even further to test for things like glyphosate residue and other sneaky toxins that can get into the mix. And after passing through all of these goalposts, it finally gets the Organifi seal of approval. So you can rest assured it's the highest quality and non-toxic. And I love that this company is a company that I can trust, that their products will be safe and effective exactly as they say they will be. And in the supplement world these days, that kind of honesty and transparency is getting harder to come by. So if you've never tried collagen, now is a great time to start. And if you're already taking it, now is a great time to switch to a better brand, upgrade what you're doing right now. So you and your entire body are going to love Organifi. Collagen is something that I take on a daily basis. It's been a part of my supplement routine for the past 5 years since I went into menopause. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. And so now let's talk about saving you some cash as well. Here's what you do. Go to Organifi.com/Myers Detox and put in coupon code Myers Detox to get 20% off. So go to Organifi, Organifi.com/MYERS DETOX. And don't forget the Myers Detox coupon code as well. You'll save an extra 20% off by putting in my special coupon code Myers Detox. So like I said, collagen is one of those things that I take every single day. It's one of the most important parts of my anti-aging protocol, the things I'm doing to fight off the clock. So for me, taking clean collagen is really important. It's hard to find. So I highly, highly recommend Organifi collagen. Yeah. So tell us about skin, like the wrinkles, crepey skin, and
Yeah.
how we can address that successfully. Because that's a bane of most women's existence is they don't like the crepiness of their eyes and the wrinkles and things like that.
Yeah. So there's those are two different things that we can dive into because I think they're both hugely important, like the crepiness. And this is especially important around the eyes because what I mentioned earlier is that there are very few oil glands around the eye. And it's the oil glands that help the skin to stay to look hydrated. So the eyes tend to get crepey and the eyelids sag more because they lose that plump. So then the other is that it's also the cell wall. A lot of times people don't think it's possible to replump a cell and not temporarily because you can inflame it and temporarily puff up a cell. And I think that's like the marketing angle for some of the chemical based products is that they're creating inflammation on the skin and that makes it look plump. But after a couple of weeks, you're like, why am I breaking out? Why does my skin look so bad? Why is it red? Why is it irritated?
Or they
So,
have silicones in them, and there's
mm,
different grades of them. The higher end products have high-end silicones, and they just feel so silky when you put them on your skin. That's not your skin that feels silky. And the silicones fill in the lines temporarily and smooth it out, but it's just a temporary fix.
exactly. It's that superficial. It's like you said, what's the marketing ploy, right? So then it's important to be able to address the eyes in with the attention that they need in being able to give them nutrients that help to feed the cell wall, which is made from omegas, which are oils. So you're actually giving the nutrients of the cell wall, the oils and the fat to help it replump because it's not just lifting, it's not just the creping, it's also the plumping that and then on another level because I don't want to scare people but as far as like the plumping under the eye, that's a whole different thing that like the swelling or the puffiness under the eye. That's another factor that really needs to be addressed more, not just from product, but from tools, is that the lymphatic system is very minimal around the eyes. So even the body is the most because we get muscle contractions and pumping, and then the face, and then very little natural lymphatic movement around the eye without physically doing something to move those congested lymphatics. And the lymphatics is what makes them look puffy and swollen or droopy.
Yes, yeah, especially after you've had a lot of salt.
Yes.
Not table salt, not sea salt, but just regular salt. If you eat at a restaurant or something, you're usually
Geez,
puffy the
salt.
next day. Yeah, so tell us about the little eye wand that you have available that it's so interesting because you can apply products with that, but I love the kind of the routine that people can do that it helps those frequencies in their improve the appearance, the puffiness, the wrinkles around their eyes. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So I also really love the applicator because it's silky smooth, so you're not getting dragging, which you don't really want to drag the skin. And it's also cool, which feels amazing. Some people actually put it in the refrigerator, but oddly enough, it stays cool as well. So when you're using it, you're putting the cream on the applicator on the flat side and doing dots around your eyes. And then after you do the cream around or the skincare treatment around your eyes, you're using the ball for physical circulation and increasing the circulation to get those lymphatics to drain. So you're draining them down the nose, around the eyes, and down the cheeks so you can get that inflammation to move. And then when you're doing the upper part of the eye, it's really helping to plump and lift this under the eyes. And we have some before and after pictures that if we don't get a chance, people can go to the website or to the page and look at them because it's amazing to see these folds over the eye with like skin on skin. And then afterwards, that you can see after using the product in the wand, that you can really see that lift. And so the skin is not sitting on the skin, like skin to skin, if you will. It's really quite amazing. I love the before and afters.
Let me ask you something a little bit personal. So, how do you get yourself out of a bad mood? So, it can be hard, really, really hard. And it only gets harder the longer that you're in that space. So, that's why I'm a big fan of today's podcast sponsor, Organifi. They made an amazing product called Happy Drops, and they're little gummies that are super tasty. and they can help make your bad moods better and your good moods great. And so I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new when I say the world is really stressed out right now. You can see it everywhere. And stress and mood related visits to the doctor's office are skyrocketing along with various prescriptions to match. And so if you're anything like me, you're looking for a safe, natural approach to rebalancing your happiness and your stress chemicals without worrying about the side effects. Well, Organifi has given us exactly that, and they're called Happy Drops, and they're my favorite new supplement. These yummy little lemon gummies are made with ginger, with gotu kola, and passion flower, all of which are shown to have positive effects on mood and emotional well-being. Plus, they have a real powerhouse ingredient, which is saffron. So why is that so cool? The compounds in saffron are shown to help your brain modulate its levels of serotonin. And serotonin is one of your happy chemicals, and saffron helps your brain enjoy it longer. Saffron also relaxes you. There's many cultures around the world that drink saffron tea before they go to bed because it helps relax them and helps them go to sleep. So saffron also contains antioxidant properties, which can help you protect your brain from oxidative stress. So that's great for detox. So best of all, there aren't any nasty side effects. There aren't any like bad ingredients, and it's safe to use every single day. So saffron's traditionally very challenging to find in the supplement world. It's difficult to plant and to farm. It's even harder to harvest, and that's why it's one of the most expensive ingredients on the planet. But now, thanks to the superfood geniuses at Organifi, we can all enjoy a real dose of real mood-lifting organic saffron for less than $1 a day. So I'm excited for you to try them. I think that everyone should. I love their happy drops. So just go to Organifi.com/Myers Detox. That's ORGANIFI.com/MYERSDETOX and get your happy drops today. And when you use my discount code Myers Detox at checkout, you're going to save an extra 20% off. So again, that's Organifi.com/Myers Detox. I want you to go out and try Happy Drops today. Like I said, I love them. I've been taking them on a regular basis to help me to go to sleep at night, help me kind of relax and get in the mood. You've got nothing to lose but your frown. Yeah, I do too. And I love this. I love the Tru Energy Skincare line. I've been using it for probably at least 18 months now. And I've seen a dramatic improvement in my skin and the skin around my eyes. I love it, and that's why I keep using it. And that's why I want to do this show with you, and I want to introduce it to other people that are looking for really good results, because not everyone can afford to go to the dermatologist and get lasers and do all this stuff. It's just thousands and thousands of dollars. But you can
Right.
get a lot of improvement using this bioenergetic skincare line, the Tru Energy line. So why don't you talk to us about the eye cream? Because I love the eye cream. I'm very picky about eye creams because I find a lot of them, they might have nice ingredients in them, but then they'll migrate into your eyes and get your eyes are like all irritated, or you're having to blink, you're trying to read and you've got this oil in your eyes. So I love your eye cream. It doesn't bleed into your eyes, and it's just really wonderful. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I love that point that you make because it is true that when a lot of times people will use creams, if the consistency isn't correct, it does seep into the eyes and actually seep into the eyelashes as well, then clogs the pores. So you're 100% right. That actually is a factor that a lot of people don't think about is the consistency of the treatment that enables your skin to get the results without having it get in your eyes. I also just like we were talking about with ingredients, I am a stickler for having actual active ingredients that actually do something. One is a lot of products when they talk about ingredients, they'll give names of ingredients and all, for example, but the percentage of resveratrol in that product is a key part of why it performs the way it does. A name is just a name, but when you actually have the percentage that has been proven to decrease the amount of oxidative stress to the cell, now you're actually at a percentage that will do something. So that's the first thing is that I have a lot of active and support ingredients that really lend themselves to results. And because the eyes are different, I also have calming the cell for both irritation, inflammation, and that oxidative stress. So it's a really good combination to make sure that all of the swelling under the eye is addressed in the multiple ways that it can show up, if that makes sense. And then also what's important around the eyes is protection, right? So if you will, a probiotic protection. And I think that's about cellular nutrients that naturally protect, as opposed to trying to put something on the skin to do external environmental protection. To me, it's more about cell protection. So that's really important. And then hyaluronic acid has been a really highly touted ingredient on having amazing results. But a synthetic hyaluronic acid is, first of all, it's a water-loving molecule. When it's used as a synthetic, it actually will start absorbing water, and it looks like it's got like great hydration, but the adverse effect of it is that it can actually cause swelling when you're using it, especially around the eyes. That's a really important factor for me. So as you can see, I'm very much on the research, like what are the new ingredients? What's a natural form of that ingredient that if people are looking for specific results, especially let's talk about lightening, right? So lightening under those dark spots under the eyes. In Chinese medicine, we have our own diagnostics for that. But in what is actually happening with that is how to resolve that is that you don't want something that's going to bleach it. One is because this is really sensitive skin and it absorbs right into the bloodstream. So you don't want to use anything that bleaches. And a lot of things that are going to give you immediate results are likely to give you those immediate results because they have some type of a lightening, whitening agent that's synthetic. So anything that lightens, what I always say is give it time, because it's about repairing what's underneath that makes the difference. It also, because the dark under the eyes has a lot to do with sleep, and sleep is so important. Those dark circles can come under the eyes from lack of sleep. It's also why I included the face mask, the eye mask, because the eye mask is imprinted with frequencies as well to go from sympathetic stress mode to parasympathetic. And if you want to get a good night's sleep, being able to go into that parasympathetic rest and digest mode is the best way to get a great night's sleep. And that's how I personally use it. I love it before I go to bed.
So this episode is brought to you by Chef's Foundry. They've got a fantastic line of cookware called P600. It's totally non-toxic. I think people don't realize that when they're cooking, most people's cookware is adding toxins to their healthy food, that people spend so much money on healthy organic food and then cook it in toxic cookware. And so that includes cast iron, which I do not recommend. It adds way too much iron in a form that we can't absorb. People use aluminum cookware, which is very inexpensive, but it's used at most restaurants, giving us tons of aluminum. People are also using ceramic cookware, which can leach toxins into your food. And not to mention the nonstick cookware. It just has so many PFAS or PFAS that is so toxic. It's one of the forever chemicals. So you really have to pay attention to what you're cooking in. So that's why I recommend the P600 line by Chef's Foundry, so that you can have peace of mind when you're cooking and you're not getting any nasty chemicals like lead or cadmium or nickel or PFAS in your healthy food. You can get a special discount for my listeners by going to bit.ly/Myers Detox. So that's bit.ly/Myers Detox, MYERS DETOX, to get an exclusive discount just for my listeners. I want you to be thinking about what you're cooking your food in, and I highly recommend the P600 line by Chef's Foundry. Yeah, I love the eye mask. It's part of my nighttime routine, and I love that it's imprinted with frequencies that help you to go to sleep. Can you tell us what the beads are in the mask?
The beads and the mask. So these are actually a white jade. So they have their own energy of themselves, because jade is great for inflammation and calming. And then they're also imprinted with, like I said, with the frequencies for going into that parasympathetic mode where we're not stressed. But also, I've also imprinted it with frequencies for skin repair around that sensitive eye area as well.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how important doing this type of routine is at night. This is what I'm doing. I'm 53 years old. I'm trying to use every tool that I can, every edge, every advantage that I can to maintain what I work so hard for with all the health stuff that I'm doing. But yeah, this is one of my secret weapons in maintaining a youthful appearance. And it really does work. It really does. So you have the eye mask, and then tell us about the overnight cream that you have as well. I love
Yes.
this too. I love the ginger smell that it has. It's super anti-inflammatory. But why don't you tell us more about it?
Yes. So I designed this really as that overnight package, if you will. And because a lot of people don't realize this, but our skin actually does the most amount of repair at night, 4 times the amount of repairing that happens at night that happens during the day. So, how we treat our skin before we go to bed is so vital that because you're getting the most out of the product. If you want to spend your money on product, you should make sure that you use it at the times that it is intended for because you're going to get the most out of it. With the night cream, what I did was it's designed for that overnight hydration. It's not greasy, like you won't get greasy spot on your pillow, but you can feel the moisture. And even in the morning, I definitely have a lot of people who say my skin in the morning feels dewy and hydrated and moist, not greasy, but moist, like it's plumped and feels really healthy. So that's actually how I designed that, was to make sure that it was giving all of those ingredients for the long-term hydration impact.
Yes, yeah, it's really good. And is there anything else that you wanted to share with the audience?
So I think actually one of the things that I just feel like I can't emphasize enough was treating your skin in a way that is appropriate for where it is on your body. Like, for example, with the exfoliant that I use on the face, they're perfectly round jojoba beads so that they don't scratch the surface of the skin, creating those micro abrasions, which creates micro scarring, right? And that's really important because the skin on the face is very different than the skin on the body that's used to like close abrasion, where you can use something like a Himalayan sea salt and actually be able to exfoliate the skin without scratching it because it is different skin. So I think that's important. And I would say that's a question that a lot of people ask me is, can I use the body lotion on my face? And it's so much thicker because the pore size is even different. The amount of penetration is different. So when you're using something that's too heavy on your face, it's going to clog the pores. If you're not using something that has a lot of product penetration for your skin, you're not going to get the rehydration and the plumping and getting rid of that crepey that you're looking for. So I would say really just, and that's why I like the system, right? People tend to buy products like, oh, I like this cleanser and this skin treatment for serum, and I like this day and this night. I really think that a system builds on each other. Like, for example, the cleanser is hydrating and still uses that oleosome technology for hydrating. And it builds because you shouldn't strip your skin before you try to rehydrate it, right? It should be a system that builds on each other. So I have that always in mind when I'm like building new products, is to what's the complement in the full system versus a single item.
So, for anyone listening that really wants to detox their body, go to heavymetalsquiz.com. I created a quiz for you. It only takes a couple of seconds. Based on some lifestyle questions, you can get your toxicity score and get a free video series that answers all of your frequently asked questions about how to detox your body. Check it out, heavymetalsquiz.com.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so if anyone wants to get this product line, you want to go to truenergyskincare.com/Wendy-ultimate-I-reset. And so this is your eye reset that you've been looking for if you want to rejuvenate your eyes. Because I know it's the eye area and the eye skin is so delicate. It's just the main problem area for so many women where they start seeing their aging, the first signs of aging. And there's lots of things you can do. I see a lot of women making the mistake of going to get like a Morpheus 8 or going to do like these very painful, very expensive micro needling, micro frequency treatments. And they don't realize that is destroying the fat underneath their eyes. And that is essentially dissolving or cooking the fat underneath their skin. I've had a lot of friends that have done that, which I don't ever advise jumping in on new technology when it just comes out, even though Morpheus 8 has been out a while, but it's very practitioner dependent. And a lot of people get very disappointed when they see this fat pad disappear under their eyes and they look even older
Sunken
after
in.
having, and they had to pay to get that done. So you've got to be really careful with some of the marketing with some of these beauty med spas and dermatologists that are Some people do get amazing results, but some people don't and are very disappointed. So this is a very non-invasive skincare line that really works. You really see the difference. Tell us how long it takes to start seeing a difference and an impact.
You're absolutely going to see an impact within the first 7 to 10 days, even with just the puffiness around the eyes. Within a couple of weeks, the lifting of the eyebrows. And immediately after using the eye mask, you'll see the difference the next morning in just that vitality, really creating that whole combination. The only thing that you're going to give a little bit of time is for darkness under the eyes. That's to make sure that those ingredients protect your eyes as
Okay.
well.
Okay, fantastic. Cathy, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge. I've had you on many times doing various podcasts and webinars because I really want to share your message and just get really good products into the hands of my audience, the stuff that I'm using, the stuff that I've discovered, because I love your product line. I use the whole product line and just can't recommend it highly enough. So thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Wendy. I always enjoy having conversations with you. They're always just spot on and so helpful, I think, for people. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah. And so for you guys listening, if you want to get this little kit that Cathy's created for you, again, Tru Energy, TRU, energyskincare.com/Wendy-ultimate-I-reset. And you can also click the link below this video as well. So everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to the Myers Detox podcast. And it's such a pleasure every week I really appreciate you guys spending your time. I know your time is very valuable. So I appreciate you watching this all the way to the end and taking your time to tune in every week. And it's been great. I mean, I've been doing this show for 13 years now, and pretty much every week consistently we're in the top 50 of the alternative health category, and sometimes dip a little bit below there, but I'm really happy people are listening and people are getting helped, and we get so much positive feedback. That's why I do the show. I want you guys to get those tips to upgrade your life so that you have the health and the life that you enjoy. So thanks for tuning in.
The Myers Detox podcast is created and hosted by Wendy Myers. This podcast is for information purposes only. Statements and views expressed on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Wendy Myers and the producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. Individuals on this podcast may have direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.